girls, welcome back to Zeke's Lunchbox. Today we are going to organize all of my art supplies and also do a little studio clean. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you guys if that is something that you would be interested in seeing. I got an overwhelming response saying yes. So that's something that we're going to do over here today. I've never done a video like this before, so yeah, this should be interesting. I'm excited to do something new and fresh on this channel. But before we head into it, in case you haven't heard, over on my Instagram or in the community notes on YouTube, I have just launched my very first course with Class 101. You know, for years I've been wanting to develop a class. I just haven't had the opportunity to really do it, but I feel like I've manifested this into the world. So I'm really excited to finally have it here. We have a launch date of the 3rd of September and it's going to be absolutely epic and I cannot wait for you guys to watch it. So what is included in the course? The course is going to feature every single art technique that I pretty much use throughout my whole art practice. What is included and what you should expect to learn within this course is how to develop color palettes and how to blend colors so you avoid them being muddy and you really understand how to make color palettes as poppy and vibrant as possible. I will also be thoroughly going through how to blend acrylic paint. It's a subject that I get requested to chat about all the time, and I don't have any videos on here that really go through step by step how I blend acrylic paint, from loading up the brush, from how much water to use, and all the different kinds of strokes that you need to be able to use to blend acrylic paint. Now, this course isn't all about traditional mediums. I will also be going through acrylic painting techniques as well as digital painting techniques. So if that's something you are interested, consider joining my course over at Class 101. I will link it down below. The second pre-sale phase should be up and running now. So the earlier you purchase your ticket, the more money you save with the course. I will probably be talking about this course for the next couple of weeks, so I won't talk your ear off too much in this video, but head over to the link below so you can see the whole syllabus. So at the bottom of the page, there is a whole syllabus of exactly what you will be learning in the course and what you should be expecting from the course. Super excited to teach you guys. This is my art desk over here that houses all of my art supplies. As you can see, it's pretty messy and also really empty as well. You can see the pink and red drawers over here have some art supplies and art tools in them, but they're not organized very well. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let's do a quick tour of everything on my desk. First of all, I've got two desks. I've got my computer desk and digital tablet drawing desk. And then this is where all the art, like physical art, gets made. Typically when I'm working on canvas stuff, I'll do it in this corner over here, but I haven't done a big canvas for a real long time, so that's why the canvas is not set up. Instead, I've just got a pile of boxes and other art supplies and whatnot over there. So obviously organizing my art tools, but it's kind of a general art studio organizing session as well. First of all, I gotta chuck out all my rubbish, especially my cheeky McDonald's. Okay, so what is on the agenda and the to-do list? First of all, chuck out all the rubbish and do a general throw out of rubbish throughout the studio. Number 2, we've got to water some plants. Number 3, collect all of the art supplies and pop them on the desk so I know what I'm working with. A couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago now, I was sent these markers that have just been sitting here that I'd like to find a home for. My paint is situated underneath here. I would like to organize the paint in a different way, but I don't think we'll be able to get to that in this session. I'm sure there's a lot of other paint that needs to be chucked out as well. So, you know, collecting all the art tools and placing them over there. I also have this shelf over here that houses a little bit of art supply stuff. I have gone through it and culled a bunch of things on this shelf now, so it's mostly just decorative, but a couple of the boxes here do have art supplies as well and art tools, so I will place those on the desk too. And then lastly, this is the shipping packing area, so I'm sure there's some rubbish here that could be chucked as well. And then there's one last spot that doesn't actually need that much organizing anymore because I did that a couple of weeks ago. So this is is the closet that houses a bunch of stuff. That area over there could definitely use a little tidy up. I mean, everything in these shelves here I've pretty much organized the other day, so that stuff is okay. But these empty boxes over here need to be placed into the closet. So yeah, just a general tidy up and organizing session. So just to recap the to-do list, we've got throw out rubbish, water plants, collect all the tools, and then find homes for everything. All right, let's go. That's as clear as things are gonna get. It's not that messy. I will handle this hell corner last because it requires me to unpack that box and try and shove it up there. So we'll do that later. So for now, let's collect some art tools and I can show you what I've got. So a couple of weeks ago, I bought this in the hopes of making a video about it. I'm still keen to do a video for painting one of these, but I don't have that much urgency to do it. So if you are interested in me drawing this like pop vinyl in my style, please comment below. And you know, if I know people are interested and are keen to watch it, I'll be a lot more inspired to film it. So let me know. Comment below. So this should be everything over here. To be quite honest, for somebody who makes art full time, I don't think I actually have that much. Now that might seem insane when you're looking at this, but you know, I kind of only use the same mediums over and over again, so I feel like I don't need that many. You might be thinking I'm absolutely nuts in saying that this isn't that much. I don't know, how many art supplies do you guys have? Do you think this is a big collection or not? I think this is, for me, I think this is very spare. Okay, when I see it all in one spot, it's a little bit overwhelming. Sorry, there is construction next door that's very intense, and it happens pretty much 24/7, so I have no way of not filming when it's loud as hell. Okay, I think the game plan has to change. I think I need to take everything off the table and pop it on the floor. And then I think I need to clean all my surfaces. And then I think I need to empty out everything and reevaluate all the containers and whatnot. So the reason why I'm organizing everything is because all my art supplies are all over the studio, and I would really like them to just be in one spot and try and be organized all in this area. Now, ideally how I would want to organize my art studio tools and all my mediums and whatnot, how I would want to do it is more with a customized pegboard on the back wall here, so I can have a lot more drawers and a lot more hanging space. Unfortunately, you know, today is not going to be the day where I get that organized. Hopefully, you know, post tarot card project, I will definitely get that done, but for now, we're just going to organize what I have. I will put up some pictures of what I mean so you guys can see, like, ideally this is the sort of studio I would prefer to have, but you know, I'm trying to do this as efficiently as possible and I only have a couple of hours to do this, so yeah, just gonna organize what I have here and then I can reassess really exactly what needs to be done for another organizing session. I have rulers and stencils all hanging above here. For now, I'm gonna leave them there. Again, ideally I would love to have the pegboard so I could pop them all in one area, but it's not going to happen today. And you know, for now they look pretty good as a decorative piece. Okay, so let's transfer all of these art supplies. All right, so desk is clean, or cleared, not clean just yet. So you can see here my salt lamp keeps leaking. I need to leave it on in winter so it doesn't leak. My PowerPoint situation underneath here, I have outgrown. I did buy a new power board that I've been meaning to install for forever. I feel like today is the day that I get that done so I can have the salt lamp on all the time. But I'm just gonna get some cleaning supplies and wipe everything down. So BRB. Guys, first up, I am gonna go through the brushes because the brushes for me, I think, are the easiest thing to go through right now. So let me just go grab them. Okay, as you can see, there are 5 containers now with brushes. I have my tallest ones all live here. I actually have more brushes, but they are tucked away in the closet. The bigger brushes are more for murals and I don't need them for everyday use, so that's why they are tucked away. You can see I also have some scissors in here. It's not ideal. I would ideally like to hang them all up, but that's not gonna happen today. I think the best thing for me to do with all of these is to just take them all out and then put them all back in. And I'll just pick out all the super long ones. And for all the newbies who are watching, and if you're kind of new to painting, honestly, this is the amount of brushes I would recommend you have. It's not like I use every single one of them all the time when I'm painting. It's more that I have multiples of the same kind of brush, so when one of them gets a little bit gross and old, I can just like flip it out to a new one. I should probably cull them down as well, but nah. Hoarding brushes is like the one thing that I enjoy hoarding. The rest of the stuff like markers, I don't enjoy hoarding. That's just me. All right, there's also some dried paint on the end there, so I'm just gonna grab a garbage bag. I'm gonna dump all the old little flecks of paint in there. See, so for all of the smaller head brushes, I still like to put them in with the tall brushes here, just because they're tall. But now, you know, reconsidering and going through everything, maybe that's not the best way to go. Maybe I should organize them by the size of the head that way, because when I toss them all in here, I kind of lose the smaller headed ones. So I might toss them back into the kitty jar. That might be the best place for them. Very first fine liner brush all those years ago. I think I got this in 2013. You can see it's very beaten up now. I think it's time to retire it, but for the nostalgia's sake, oh no, I don't think I can. These fan brushes, I understand, whoa, oh my god. These fan brushes, I understand what you're meant to use them for, you know, for adding texture on landscapes. I probably should use it a little bit more, but as you can see, it has never been used. Alright, next up we're going to do markers. As you can see, I've got a bunch of Posca markers, some highlighters, random pens everywhere. I was sent these a couple of weeks ago, like I mentioned earlier in the video, and I did a video experimenting with these, so if you want to watch that video, I will link that down below where I draw with these. Now, a lot of them aren't very good, so I will have to part with them, and honestly, some of them are completely unusable, so unfortunately, I do just have to chuck them out. Just gonna do the same thing that I did with the brushes and just dump them all out on the table. Because this tin can't fit over here very neatly, I'm gonna put things that I don't use all the time in this tin. So I do have an issue with where I'm putting a lot of my Poscas, so I'm trying to find a bigger box for them, and I think this box here will probably be ideal. It can fit a little bit better in this area here if I try and find a spot for it and squeeze it somewhere, and I'll just have to find another home for all the tape. Alright, change of plans once again. I'm gonna have to grab some rubber bands. I'll be right back. Whoa, once you group them, you actually realize there's not that many. So I've grouped them by colors, and now it'll be a lot easier for me to find them, so I'm not, you know, endlessly searching through. Because these are pretty much like knockoff Poscas, I have no delicate way of saying it. They're basically the same like head and everything to a Posca, but just a little bit cheaper. I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna bury them underneath because I don't use them as often. And that way, like the same category of tools is all in the one spot. Are you seeing this? Oh yeah. Alright, next up I've got like pens, colored pens, and pencils. So all the like little skinny weird things. This is the stuff that annoys me the most because there's so many weird odds and ends. What are you doing here? You got a new spot. There we go. Oh, that's awesome. I found one odd tool and I was able to put it back really quickly. Yeah, these sort of tools annoy the heck out of me because they're so odd. And there's usually like one of that tool, and all the weird miscellaneous tools have to go together. I think we just gotta dump them all out and do it that way. Hey. Here are all of the pencils, pens, colored pens, and weird miscellaneous items. And here are all of the jars that they will be going back into. The way I have done all the pencils is they are now separated by yellows and reds, greens, blues, and pinks. I could separate these, the yellows and the oranges and the reds a little bit more, but I like separating them like this because that's kind of the method that when I'm drawing, that's the mindset that I'm in. Whenever I pick out reds, oranges, and yellows, they're kind of all in the same category for me. It's always me wanting to add some warmth. And then here are all the colored pieces, and then all the grays, browns, and white pencils are over here as well. I don't know, it still looks quite messy to me, but I think that's the best it's gonna get. And now all of the colored pens are all together as well. I also have these on-the-go watercolor brushes, so you fill up the water there and then you can paint on the go. I'm going to, instead of put them in the brush segment, I'm going to put them over here, just because this container is quite empty. I feel like it could, you know, house the more random odds and ends. These two palettes aren't necessarily practical. I do use this bigger one sometimes. It obviously needs to be cleaned. This one, this is more just a little trophy of old paintings that I made all those years ago. I mostly put them up here just for decorative purposes. All of these tins and everything have just been collected over the years at secondhand stores. I do like metal tins because they feel decorative, but also obviously practical. This is my Digimon lunchbox, an old relic. Here is my yellow submarine tin that I got a couple of years ago. I think that's where all the stamps are gonna go, because all the stamps and everything are a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more random. I don't really use them all that often. And then I also have these corner cutters. So these just cut the corners of pieces of paper and make them rounded. So don't use that very often either. So I'm just gonna chuck them all in there. And then all my blue tack is all over the place. So I'm finally gonna find a home for it. And that's its permanent home. Okay. So here we've got all the markers. I'm going to put those underneath the desk and I'll show you where I'm gonna put them. I wish they could fit somewhere along the top half of the desk, but it's just not gonna happen. Now let's open up all these containers. I think this one has all of my pins and sewing stuff. If you guys didn't know, Zeke's Lunchbox originally was a fashion brand, and I did a lot of fashion and wearable stuff. And then it kind of transitioned into some soft sculpture stuff. Those are for the peeps who have been following for years on end. And now I don't do any sewing stuff at all, so I'm not too sure what to do with all my sewing things. I have to fix a couple of clothes here and there, but apart from that, not too much. So all the sewing things and beads that I will open up in a second, I'm probably going to pop back onto the shelf that lives on the other side of the studio. This one I think is just an empty tin. Yeah, the cat one's just an empty tin. And then there are just more beads inside there. So I think I'm actually just going to donate that one, these two items at some point, and those will go out in my hallway so I remember to donate them on the weekend. Over here, ooh, lots of random doodads, some more sewing things. For all of my colored paces and just paces in general, that's where all of my leads are. I have a couple of random ink tubes as well for some colored pens. For a hot minute, I thought I wanted to do some brush pen stuff, and I just bought that for some reason, and I've barely used it. But yeah, all of my pacer stuff just sits in there. I think it's like, it fits perfectly in there. I know it takes up quite a lot of space, but I quite like the actual jar. I've got a bunch of USB sticks that I will put over on Tech World. I'm gonna put that over on the tech computer desk instead, because why are they over at the physical medium desk? And now that's freed up a section for all of my erasers and sharpeners. These are just two tarot card decks that I refer to when I'm making my tarot card deck. I've just got the traditional Rider-Waite deck in here, but I got one of the sample box from our manufacturers, so I'm just testing it out and really feeling it out. So it's got some of my cards in there, as well as, you know, the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card deck. And if you're new here, this is your first video, I'm working on a tarot card deck. The Kickstarter for the deck, we are hoping for late September, October. So yeah, subscribe so you know when that is already. And I like to keep them on the desk. For me, it's like, you know, I'm using the tarot card decks a lot, so just gonna keep them there. Okay, I still have a couple of areas of random things that need to be put away, so I'm gonna do that off camera, like my dishes, fold this blanket over here, then we'll tackle this area over here. So I still have all of my acrylic paints down below there, so I'm just gonna pick those up and go through them. That's the closet. So you can see I've taken the Cintiq Wacom box that my tablet sits in, that was over there. I finally placed it up there. I don't know, when it comes to tech boxes, I often hoard them. I do find that they are useful for traveling and for moving. So I've got my laptop and the Wacom Cintiq tablet up there. Look, it's not ideal. I haven't flattened the boxes because they've got a bunch of foam in them, you know, to actually keep the tech safe. So yeah, not ideal, but you know, a bunch of wasted space up the top there, but I can still use that railing and maybe hang something off of it in future, but for right now I don't really need that. Now the banners over here are from my last Kickstarter, I believe in November. I will be listing a bunch of items from the Kickstarter onto my shop eventually. I just haven't had the chance to, and I really haven't given my shop all that much love. In fact, I'm considering shutting down my shop for a little bit until after the Kickstarter, but I'll probably do that when I'm closer to the Kickstarter. I might try and do a big studio clear out before I shut it down, so keep an eye out for that. You just gotta keep tuning back in to know when all of that is happening. Just so you know what's actually in here, it's got all of my old journals, some personal items like photo albums, a bit of random tech stuff that I really want to find a better home for. Lots of like packing material, so like lots of cardboard. And I'm sure you also witnessed there's a butt ton of big canvases all throughout this closet over here. It is my goal to go through every single one of those canvases at some point. Again, another plan post-tarot. You can see there's a big canvas hiding, a big hexagonal canvas hiding over there, but I've got triangle canvases, hexagonal canvases, heart canvases, circle canvases, and then a couple of square and rectangle canvases, all hidden throughout and tucked away. Yeah, I'm really hoping to get to them at some point. Hopefully this year, maybe at the end of the year, I can finally do some personal paintings and start a new body of work post-tarot. Yeah, then I'm gonna vacuum and water the plants, and then I think we're done. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found this somewhat interesting, a bit satisfying. I know the before and after weren't major, but it was nice just to do a big reset in the studio, and I'm hoping you guys found that entertaining and fun to watch. If you did, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe, and if you guys want a studio tour, let me know in the comments down below. I think I've only done one studio tour before a couple of years ago, and you know, a fair few things have changed around here, so if you guys want an update on that, let me know. Before I head out, don't forget my course with Class 101 is still up for grabs. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, this time next week. Catch you later. Bye.